Hi there. A dear friend of mine sent me a link to time under tension. And the question is this the best formula for increasing strength, or is there a variation on this that will be much better? Because the concept is, let's have a look, time under tension is the total amount of time a muscle stays under strain during a single set of an exercise. Key components including the eccentric lowering, isometric pause, and concentric lifting phases. You can learn more about that. So how time under tension works: tempo tracking, measured by slowly down movements, often written as numbers like 3-1-2, 3 seconds down, 1 second pause, 2 seconds up. Set duration, a total set time of 30 to 70 seconds is commonly recommended to maximize muscle growth. Reduce momentum, eliminates bouncing or rushing, forcing the target muscle to do the actual work. And there's some benefit from it, and it's joint friendly and very, very safe. But the challenge here is how much weight do you use? So if I was doing biceps with a pencil, time under tension would be meaningless. Also, set duration, it doesn't discuss, how many sets do I need to do? One of the biggest reasons people don't do exercise, and particularly strength training, is the belief that it takes a lot of time. So I'm going to share my variation of time under tension called time until fatigue. It's not just important how long your muscles are under tension, but the degree of tension that they're under and the overload stimulus created by the effort you make at the very end. So here are some simple rules with time until fatigue, or you could call it tough. 1, use a weight or resistance or difficulty that's light enough to enable you to keep moving at a slow controlled pace for at least 60 seconds. Then perform a strength test. Knowing you only have to do one set, move slowly and see how many seconds you can endure. You might go to 90 seconds or 120 seconds or even longer. Measure it and record it. Then, on any exercise where you can keep it going for 90 seconds or longer, increase the weight or the difficulty next time. So this is a concept called progressive overload, upon which all strength training is based. And my thesis, which I'm going to suggest to you, is that the maximum strength adaptation stimulus comes in a sweet spot somewhere between 60 and 90 seconds. If you move that down to a shorter set, then in order to get fatigue, you're going to have to use a much heavier weight. We all remember Dean Lucan at the Sydney, I think it was the Sydney Olympics. He was aiming for what's called a 1 RM, which is he only did 1 repetition and he lifted an enormous amount of weight that would put most people at incredible risk. Versus if we take the time under tension, I could be doing bicep curls with a pencil all day long. And just common sense tells us that's not going to create a strength adaptation stimulus. So here's the simple formula. And I think genetically, most people get the ideal strength adaptation stimulus with maximum safety somewhere between 60 to 90 seconds. It might be 50 to 100 seconds, but you know what I'm talking about. So here's the simple principle. Use a weight or resistance or difficulty that's light enough to enable you to keep moving at a slow controlled pace for at least 60 seconds. So if it was push-ups, we're not using a weight, but the difficult one might be pushing against a high bench. And as you get stronger, you might push against a lower bench and then a lower bench. And then eventually you could do a push-up on the ground. If you're using weights, you might do a bench press with 20 pounds, do as many as you can, then go to 30 pounds, 60 pounds, 100 pounds, or kilos, or whatever. And then make every time you do the exercise a strength test, knowing that you only have to do 1 set. The question is, how many can you endure? Don't stop at 10, just keep on going. And you really want slow movements. I like to aim for pushing for 5 seconds and lowering for 5 seconds. So lifting for 5 seconds, lowering for 5 seconds, not stopping at the top, not stopping at the bottom, just keeping it going. Remember, muscles can't count reps. All they understand is the amount of resistance and how long you keep those muscles under tension and the degree of fatigue you take them to. And everybody's different. We've all heard stories of a mother whose child is caught underneath a car and the mother actually lifted the car. So people have enormous amount of strength. As a matter of fact, I have been stuck under a car with a broken leg and my brother lifted the side of the car. He was only 16 at the time. And on any exercise, we can keep it going for 90 seconds longer, increase the weight or difficulty next time. Anyway, that's my take on time under tension. Try it, time until fatigue. It really is a simple formula and it really does work. Have a great day.